Hello and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton Knave. Our journey continues through Zappadom to Does Humour Belong in Music? This is a live album of the '84 band. It has a namesake on DVD, but this is a different set of music with a slightly different track list. I think the general complaint about the DVD is that it focuses on obviously the humorous music and the satirical stuff rather than the playing stuff, and obviously the '84 band, which is one of his very best bands. Some people think it's his best band. I think I prefer the '82 band and the '88 band, but it's still fantastic. The CD version is different tracks, so it does get to show off the band, so that's great. Although it's not a complete show, which, you know, a complete show would be nice. Even if it doesn't have to be one show, but a complete show is always nice. And obviously at this point this was important because we hadn't heard live stuff from the '84 band, and subsequently there's a whole load of stuff released by them, but still. This is recorded on this was actually the 20th anniversary tour, and the tour actually featured very briefly Napoleon Murphy Brock. He did return for just 2 weeks, but sadly apparently substance abuse was the problem, and so he was sacked, sadly. The CD version does not feature The Dangerous Kitchen, and it should feature The Dangerous Kitchen because it is on the DVD. So, you know, but we've got 10 tracks from 9 different locations, and some of them are composites to get the best possible performance, so they're not... It is a live album, but it is a composite. Certainly not an honest live album in that sense, but I don't believe there's any overdubs or anything like that. Very strangely, supposedly originally it was just released in England and Germany, the CD. The DVD, well, the video, everywhere. And then it wasn't released everywhere until 1995, apparently. Obviously he was releasing a silly amount of albums at this point, but the first song is Zoot Allures, a superior version of Zoot Allures. To me, this is the definitive version of Zoot Allures. Fantastic sound quality, particularly for a live album, crisp and clear, and a great performance, a great track, brilliant. Far and away better than the album version. Track 2 is Tinseltown Rebellion. The difference between this and the original Tinseltown Rebellion version on the album with that title is that it actually features little parodies of current bands as it goes through, which is very entertaining. I think generally people like that version of it, and the version on the DVD, and that was the one that was used on Have I Offended Someone, the compilation. But personally I still prefer the version on Tinseltown. That's not the original version. The original version is on the Buffalo performance, but the one on Tinseltown Rebellion, the album, I'd say was the best version. Track 3 is Trouble Every Day. Well, it's listed as Trouble Every Day. It's not Trouble Every Day, it's More Trouble Every Day. It changes the lyrics slightly to be fed up of MTV rather than watching my TV. So obviously a less serious subject. But in terms of performance, I'd say this was better than the Roxy version. I think this is a brilliant performance of it. Then we have Penguin in Bondage, which is perhaps not as good as the Roxy version, I would say. Track 5 is Hot Plates Heaven at the Green Hotel. Now, for a while I used to think this was a new track on Broadway the Hard Way, but it's not. It actually appeared for the first time here, played by the '84 band. And it is a great song. There's an anti-Republican message to it. There's a fair amount of anti-Republican stuff on this album. And just a great riff, great solo in the middle. I like the way during the solo it speeds up, it goes into double time, so where there was one, it will go double the speed of the rhythm over the solo, and that works really well. I think later versions were maybe better. I think the Broadway version is better, but it's still a great song. Track 6 is What's New in Baltimore. This is the full version, I think. The instrumental version used on Mothers of Prevention, I think, lacks the good humour and the wonderful melody used on the live version. This is a great version. I think the best version for me is actually on You Can't Do That on Stage Anymore 5 by the '82 band. Now this is where it gets a little bit confusing because the tracklist on the album is different to the tracklist on which I assume is a mistake. Track 7 on here is Whipping Post, but Whipping Post is actually the last track on the album. Our track 7 on the actual disc is Cocksucker's Ball, which is another anti-Republican thing. It's only 1 minute, but it goes together with WPLJ, which we haven't heard since all that time ago on Burnt Weenie Sandwich. I think this is better than that version. I think this is a good version, well recorded, good vocals, etc. It is what it is. And track 9, which is listed as track 10 on here, is Let's Move to Cleveland, which is 16 minutes 44 piece. It's basically a vehicle for solos. There's some great playing on here. You know, arguably that's what's missing from the DVD, rather than it's just the silly songs on the DVD. Some great jazzy bits of piano, drum solo, and a guitar solo, obviously. It's actually a good theme that is reprised at the end, so that's cool. The final track is Whipping Post, listed on here as track 7, but it's actually at track 10. It's the Allman Brothers song, which was requested in 1974. We can hear on You Can't Do That on Stage Anymore 2, and was included on Them or Us. This is a better version than the Morris version. It just works better live. That's it. Is it a bit of a curiosity? I mean, it's a pretty good live album, so I'd say to call it a curiosity would do it a disservice. But with you can't do that on stage anymore, it feels a bit more superfluous. But still, good stuff. See you next time.